Every September the 11th, two giant shafts of light commemorate where the Twin Towers once stood. A dramatic image, but it gives no clue to the thousands who died that day. One man believed that a simple photo did. He now believed he knew who the man might be. Someone called Jonathan Briley. Now he needed confirmation from the family.
Jonathan Eric Briley was this person that just loved life and that it was contagious. So when you were around him, you couldn't help but smiling and laughing. Every time Jonathan comes to mind, he's walking and he's talking and he's smiling, and he had this bounce in his step. He was one of these special people that could spread himself around the whole family, and we all got our piece of Jonathan.
In the days after the attack, the Brileys waited for his return. A phone call, anything. As the days passed, their hopes of finding him alive faded. Reverend Briley gathered the family in prayer.
He talked to God like someone who absolutely knew that he existed. He says, I believe you can create a miracle. I want my miracle. He said, I have loved you. I do love you. I believe you. I have served you. I want to know where my son is. The next day, we had a phone call from the coroner. Said to come down. They found Jonathan. We knew where he was. That was a gift. That was a gift from God.
The coroner's office identified Jonathan through DNA and dental analysis. Jonathan's younger brother Timothy had the painful experience of confirming the identification.
Timothy recognized his shoes and his hands. He said, I would know my brother's hands and his feet. He took one of his shoes and he kept it. They were black tennis shoes, lace up, and then had that Velcro thing around the ankle. I didn't remember anything about an orange t-shirt, but when I talked with Timothy, he did. He talked about how Jonathan had this orange t-shirt and they would tease him because he wore it all the time.
Could Jonathan be the falling man?
When I first looked at it, it was almost like touching a hot stove. Your mind just I looked at the figure and I saw it was a man, tall, slim. Wow. I looked at it and I said, if I didn't know any better, that could be Jonathan.
But for Gwendolyn, the identity of the falling man didn't matter. She understood that it symbolized something far more significant than a single individual. Tom Junot could never be absolutely certain that Jonathan Briley was the falling man. But he'd learned something far more important from Gwendolyn. The man's identity didn't matter. The power of the image came, not because the falling man could be identified, but because he couldn't.
What that day needed more than anything else was essentially what a lot of other wars had, which was the tomb for the unknown. What makes the tomb of the unknown soldier so poignant is the fact that he is unknown. It's not the fact that he is that I identified. It's the fact that one has been made to stand for many. When Richard took that picture, I believe that he took a picture that really stood as the tomb of the unknown soldier for that day.
Jesus Natali Cabezas.
Lillian Caceres,
Brian Joseph Cachia.
Stephen Dennis Cafiero,
Tom Junot's quest had revealed just how important the falling man was. The image didn't insult those who died. Rather, it was a fitting and just memorial to them, because it forced the world to acknowledge and remember the terrible events of that day.
One of the reasons why I became so determined to plumb the meaning of the falling man was that we can't hope to understand these incredible times unless we look at these images and accept the witness of these images. I mean, I think that looking at the falling man and to discuss it is the only option that we have, given that there is a falling man.